Hello and welcome to this new Cavalry live. Today we are trying to recreate an animation from this guy, Brand Motions. He did a pretty cool animation in Cavalry for the types, and since I'm trying to learn Cavalry for welcome to this new Cavalry thumbnail design, today we among are trying other. To recreate an animation from this guy, Brand Motions. He did a pretty cool animation in Cavalry for the types, and since I'm trying to learn Cavalry for welcome to this new Cavalry thumbnail design, today among other. Create an animation from this guy, Brand Motions. Where is it? Cool, animation in Cavalry for the types, and since I'm trying to learn. Okay, found you. Sorry, it seems I will never learn. Anyways, so this guy has a cool animation. You can check his work. It's pretty nice. And I imported it inside of Cavalry, and we will try to recreate it because I think it's nice to have the basics of procedural animation with the duplicator in Cavalry. So this time I did a little bit of homework, so I mostly know where I'm going with that, and hopefully it will be watchable. And what else did I want to say for starters? I don't know. So let's just dive into the first shot. So the very first one, it's what's the name? Brand Motions, I think. Yes, it's Brand Motions logo, so we won't use that. We will do just a C on a dark background, because we will start with text that says copy, because we are copying with absolutely no shame. So I think, yeah, you can control the background color of the composition with Control K. So we'll start with a black composition. Well, actually, I don't know if I can switch the color of the background and make it lighter so that I can see the limitations of the composition more easily, but I can do it for the background of the composition, even if it's not ideal. So let's just lift it just a tiny bit so that we can see where we are. Okay. So first thing, we create a little letter. So this will be a C, all right. And we'll use outfit. Outfit is a variable font. Variable fonts are nice in Cavalry because you can probably, I mean, I guess they're nice. I think I saw something in the documentation or somewhere that says that you can indeed control the weight of the font if it's variable. So this is probably something very nice to leverage in animations. Okay, so now that we have this C, let's just make it bold. Yeah, make it white too. All right, and make it a tiny bit bigger. Okay, and probably move it a tiny bit up. Okay, so I'll just turn off the sound because. So this one is pretty simple. It's a shape oscillating, and the duplicator oscillates in the same way, and there's a gradient across the duplication. So what we need to do is first use the duplicator Now we choose the vertical mode. No, first we need the linear mode and we make it vertical. We need to plug this into the input shape. Okay, so now when we drag that, we have our node graph that is starting to appear. So now I both have the C of the shape and the duplicator, so I can remove that one and it makes it more accurate because we don't need to see the original shape, only the copies. Okay, so now what we need to do is to plug an oscillator inside of the shape position, I guess. So, sorry, this is what I wanted I wanted to highlight the fact that those demo scenes are really, really useful when trying to learn. And I learned I did most of my retro engineering. That's a really fancy word for what we're doing here, but nonetheless, trying to reconstruct an animation is pretty much that. And this scene, the oscillating polygon, is very useful to understand what's going on here. So I will keep it open so that I can see. So the oscillator is plugged into the shape rotation and the stagger is plugged into the basic shape. So this is what we need to recreate. And to do that, we will just add both nodes or layers. So yeah, you can call nodes in the node graph with shift, which is the same as in Houdini. So this is pretty nice to have something consistent across different pieces of across different applications. So we said scatter. No, it's not scatter, sorry, it's stagger. And oscillator. Oscillator, that could have been, it's pretty much a sinus function, that's it. So what we need, so when I was preparing, I did struggle for quite a bit because I just took the oscillator, plugged it in here. I saw a position parameter and I was like, yeah, that's what I want. But no, you need to plug, because this is the transform of the duplicator itself. So if you want the stagger effect, you need to plug that inside of the shape position, not the duplicator position. It's quite obvious, but this is a little bit of a trap that I fell in. So I just wanted to report on that trap because I might not be the only one falling for it. So shape position is X, yeah. And so it's doing the same thing at the moment. So let's just change the oscillator a little bit. We need a bigger frequency, no, a smaller one. I like the fact that you have this little visualization on top of the node parameter. It's really handy. Okay. Oh no, it's already pretty much staggered. So inside of this this other comp, the stagger was to shrink the oscillator in size. It has nothing to do with the oscillation being staggered across copies. Okay, so let's go back to shot one. So we need more copies. Let's use 21. Okay. What's that? So yes, size. Is it how you, yeah, you increase the distance between the copies? Yeah. Okay. So we pretty much don't see anything. So let's start using color to. So I found two methods to color the thing, but I think I forgot the first one. So let's call a gradient something. Yeah, gradient shader. And if I plug the gradient shader, so there is this little behavior that is pretty unpleasant. Sometimes you have the hand that, yeah, when you move after having grabbed the wire, you can be stuck with the hand, but if you click again on the node, it's back again. So let's just plug it in here and see what happens. Okay, so this makes the, oh, this is weird. Okay, so let's just use the correct way. It's not needed to go back on a method that was working, but only on black and white. So the correct node to use to create those gradient cross copy is index something, index to color. Yeah. So let's just do that and wire that. So basically, we already have the effect. Index. What is index? Index is the numbering of the copies. That's it. And it's used to assign the numbers are used to assign the colors across the gradient. At least that's what I understand. And yeah, this is pretty much it. We have something similar in Houdini. Can be called a lot of things, but index is a pretty basic thing to have. I'm just, yeah, okay, so the spacing is a little bit weird. This is not ideal, so let's just go back to the oscillator and the duplicator first, sorry. I think in the ref, the spacing is much smaller. And yeah, the oscillation is wider and less with less velocity. Okay, sorry, I just froze. If I stagger less, I will have, yeah. Okay, I think we can go a little higher and lower. Okay, so it's a bit slow now. Ah, so we will link those two values. Oh, no, because that would mean using a math node to do the inversion, and I'm too lazy for that. So normal. Okay, I'm a bit confused. $15. Okay, let's go to the duplicator and shrink everything. For now, I don't know how to be sure to use to have the duplicator start not in the middle and grow in both directions. Maybe we can find, but it's not really the focus right here. So we won't waste too much time with that, but former, motion blur, input shape, linear. Size, fit, step. Okay. So this is definitely now an oscillator problem. So this we don't need, no? Yeah. Okay, timescale is very interesting. I didn't expect it to do that, but so the more you... Okay, so this is pretty close, right? Yeah, it is. And what's very nice about the ref that Brand Motions provided is that it's pretty much a stair to the more complex cases, which is really cool to go through. Okay, so I will still try to do the inversion. I wish it was possible to do it in direct expression linkage manner like we would do in Houdini, but it's not interesting. So I will go back to that. I'm still trying to get around how properties pop inside the attribute editor, and I mean, I'm not sure I like it very much. I think you never get what you want easily because either the ordering is wrong or anyway, I think it could be better UX wise, but this is not really the conversation right now. So yes, creating an expression to... So let's use a value. And a math node. Maybe there is an invert. I don't know. No, that's for colors. So let's use math. And drop our value. So we were at 15. We wire the value directly inside of the first. Multiply the second by -1. If we can do that, hopefully we can. Yeah. And now all we have to do is to plug the values inside of the oscillator. So the maximum is the positive value, and so the result of the math operation is not to be seen here. So let's grab it over there and bring it here. See, this is something. Ooh. Can I do that, for instance? Because what am I, if I grab this node, what am I plugging exactly? I don't know, but let's try it. Minimum. Okay, I don't know what I'm plugging at all. What's the value we get? Oscillator, where are you? Oh, we do get the -15. So maybe it's expected that the output of this node is the result, but I would have preferred to get... See, this is what I meant about the reordering of the things. I don't like the fact that it travels that much. I would like for the latest selected node to appear on top always. But yeah, maybe it's possible to do that. I don't know. 0 and 4. Anyway, I don't like this one because it's always disappearing everything, which is not really convenient either. So let's grab result and wire it in minimum. Yeah. And now it's much more readable in the node graph. Is it possible to get rid of this little indicator? Yes, it would seem so. Oh, I hadn't seen that, but I like the dots. Actually, they're not dots, they're little crosses, but... Anyways, so let's move on. Okay, so this is really bad. I broke the system. Why is that? I'm confused. I probably just moved the duplicator. Yeah. Sorry. So now we have this pretty nice centralized value for maximum and minimum. I wonder if we can decrease the oscillation across the copies. We probably can, but I'm losing track of what we're doing here, which is reverse engineering the animation. So this one is done. So now we can move on to the next topic. So those two are pretty much the same. This one, the letters are moving up and down, and they are rotating on themselves. They are growing and shrink. So there's an oscillator in the scale. Actually, this one is a little more complex than this one. It's this one that is the direct evolution of the first setup, so we will rather move on to this one and after tackle this one. And those two are also pretty much the same setup, but there's this gradient thing that is interesting. So yeah, so let's duplicate our first composition and move on to shot number 2. Oh, that I don't like. You should see that I chose to have a padding of 3 and respect my decision, Cavalry, please. So let's continue with only one letter at the moment. And the difference here is that we don't have the index to color, so we can simply uncheck it or completely remove it even. So our text is filled with a light color. It's a little, yeah, something like that. A little yellow. We don't say a little yellow, do we? it's slightly yellow. Yeah, it's slightly yellow. We have a stroke, and yeah, this is pretty much done. Okay, but what about the other type of movements? There is that. So they are both. Oh, there is the. Yeah, I didn't catch it the first time, but there is definitely the oscillation in the scale on this one too. So let's add an oscillator on the y-axis, because clearly they are moving up and down. After that, we'll add the effect on. Oh, oh, are they scaling up or not? Or is it just an illusion of the oscillation movement? I'm not sure actually. No, I think they are definitely scaling up and down. Yeah. Okay. So oscillation. So if I take the exact same oscillation and just plug it inside of the X, the shape position Y, the Y shape position, sorry, I think it will simply do something like that. And this would be pretty much interesting. So we need another oscillator with slightly different settings, so that there is not a perfect alignment between the two oscillations. That creates boring movement, and that's not what we want. So let's unplug the oscillator from Y first, like that, and duplicate. So maybe, so let's take a look at the graph, because probably we can use a derived of value. We'll see that after. So let's duplicate the oscillator, because it was not, we don't need something extremely different, just something slightly different. So let's call it oscillator Y, and this one will be oscillator X. And you should, so min and max are the same. So let's plug it. And now we want, see, this is what I was talking about earlier. So when you have this little closed hand, it's annoying, but this is the way out, just clicking on something else. Let's drag and put that inside of the Y shape. Okay. And now we need to change the frequency a little bit, and probably we can probably offset it too. Okay, it's not working. Why? Because I have frequency of 0. Oh my god, this is very, very ugly. Why is it doing that? So we probably need to grab value and multiply it. So we'll call another math node, grab the positive value. So put it in first. We can copy this math node. Ah, this is Houdini reflex. I was doing drag and alt to duplicate, but this is not available in Cavalry, so sadly. So what did I do? So we will need to name our math, otherwise it will, because in the node graph it's okay, but in here it's messy not to have them properly named. So this one is invert x, sorry. And this one is multiply y. And what? Oh, okay. And now we will duplicate invert x and it will be invert y. Okay, so let's add it to the scene. We want invert y to be the first of this one. Now, so we've seen that we can grab that one and use it directly inside of minimum. Okay, and now let's configure that one. So we are multiplying by 1. So we need to multiply by, let's say 3 for now. So it should move up and down a little more. It's not. Maybe this is because we are way too flat in the frequency department once again. I don't know why we ended up with 0 again. Let's use 0.2, see what happens. Okay, it's not. Why? Am I dreaming? Did I not use? Okay, so what is happening if I click outside? I don't get why it's so messy. Maybe we should. So it breaks. Yeah, the relationship between the layers is being too distant. So let's try 1.3. Didn't change anything. Oh, there's something wrong with my multiplication here. It should be completely crazy, but it's just not doing anything. I think I didn't plug it correctly. You should go inside of the maximum. So this is the result. Go there in max. Okay, now it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's just way too extreme. Okay, so I lost my multiplicator again. Okay, so it's moving up and down like I want. The problem is that the sensation of trailing is not there at all because they are too broken apart between one another, and I think this is simply an oscillator issue, but apparently I'm not very good at setting it correctly. Oh, okay, so yeah, it was the stagger that was too extreme. Yeah, okay, we have it. We have it. So now what's missing is the stagger on the scale. And I think we have the effects almost. We will, after that, need to do that across several letters and see if we can do it procedurally, which we probably can. But let's wait a sec. Before we do that, we have a scale to stagger. So let's call a stagger node and plug it inside of our shape scale. It is, I think. And where is our little shape? It's over there. Okay. And okay, so we have a ton of parameters, and scale doesn't look like it's doing the trick, but maybe I need to. So let's go back to the model comp. How is it done? So the stagger is plugged into the primitive radius. We don't have a primitive radius because we're working with a text, but maybe I plugged the stagger in the incorrect parameter. Again, maybe it's not this scale, it's another scale. Oh, it's probably type size. Yeah, I think it is. So let's wire it in. Font size. Okay, this is a bit extreme. It looks like a worm. It's not uninteresting, but we would rather have it be growing rather than shrinking. So let's see if we can do that with stagger. Yeah, we absolutely can. It's a matter of okay, let's do that. We have, yeah, so if I want the size to be constant, I do 100, 100. Oh no. Oh, I didn't expect that. Offset 0. Or maybe that's the value. Yeah, maybe this is direct values. Anyways, so let's just do something with a difference between the two. And I think, no, it's not the offset that we need to oscillate. So, because this offsets what? This offsets, I suppose this offsets the index. Interesting. So it looks like we won't be able to achieve the growing and shrinking behavior across the trail by using offset. I wonder what he used. I suppose that if we oscillate this one and this one, it can produce the effect. But I'm not sure I like it, honestly. But let's try it. Maybe this is that, maybe it's not, but we won't know for sure until we test it. So let's duplicate this X oscillator, because I've noticed one thing is that dialing oscillators is a bit tricky. So you will be oscillator for stagger min, so ST min. And where is the stagger? It's here. So we probably need to add some floor to the value. So we will once again use a math node, but let's wire. Because right now we are oscillating between what? Yeah, it's really tiny values, I think. How can we see that? If I go in oscillator, I think. No, if I go inside of the scatter, I will be able to see that in the stagger, not the scatter, sorry. So it's oscillating between 63 and 63, okay. It's still using the value. So we don't need to have negative values. So we need instead to refit the values. I don't know if they have fit nodes. No, I don't see no fit node, but we can add, we can do add. Yeah, adding is a completely valid approach. So here we need the mat node. Okay, so those are for vectors, but here we are on a single value. I also wish we could wire things easily, like in other pieces of software. So let's wire our oscillator here. Okay, so first it's minus 63, and so let's create a new value. Where is the first? So the first value was base position, base P, and you will be base stagger. And that way we can have a value that is not 63, which will be probably, and also we will be able to move our node up there. Okay. So minimum would be, so we will make two, in this particular case, it's useful to have two different values because we are not mirroring across one axis. So we might as well just, so you will be base, you will be min, yes, I'm plugged in the minimum, min stagger, and let's duplicate min stagger, call it max stagger, up, and plug the value inside of maximum. And now we can easily control our min and max values separately. And we don't need to do weird math to make it positive or refit it because we have the direct control over the bonds of the oscillator. Okay. So max, you will be, so it's 63, so let's make it bigger, 20, and min, yeah, okay, so 60 is good. What is this math not doing? It's not doing anything, so let's remove it. Oh, I forgot. It was in what? Yeah, minimum and maximum. Okay, so now I'm really confused because I did not expect at all to have the trail in the end become tiny. I would have expected it to become normal and bigger. So let's move our values here and see what it's doing. And let's take a look at the stagger. Okay. Whoa. This is ugly. So we do have the growing and shrinking effects. It's just not very easy to catch it. So let's duplicate this setup. Can we do that? It's weird. Okay, so the relationship have not been created. And you can only drag nodes one by one. Okay, so let's plug that in minimum. No, this is max, so it goes in maximum. Okay. And you go now to maximum, and let's just offset the time a little bit. It looks like a frog. I don't know, something weird. Well, it's better if we only have one value that is changing. Okay, so I'm not sure I found the correct method to do. Oh no, this is weird. I'm not sure why it did break the look we had before we added another bunch of nodes in there, but it looks like it ruined our look, so let's remove it. Yeah, I'm not sure why it would not return to this state once I revert the node graph. I would expect it to revert completely, but apparently there was something destructive in adding nodes and then removing them. So something to keep in mind, because it might be worth exploring and understanding. Okay, so now it's doing the same thing, so maybe it was just... I'm confused. Yeah, it's not the same thing at all. I don't get it. Okay, let's move on. Maybe it has something to do with initial values or something like that. So now we need to duplicate letters. So let's go back to the reference. We will try to do it the easy way, and if it's okay, fine, and if not, we'll try to debug it. So the easy way would be to take all of that, group it, move the group over. So let's take that, yeah. Duplicate the group, move it over, make, so hopefully everything is linked, yeah. And so let's use O for copy. Okay. So what if instead of struggling with values, okay, so there is definitely something with time in Cavalry that I need to explore further, because you might expect the group to be more like the values to change with the layer when we move them around, but it's not the case. Nonetheless, I think I could pre-compose, and this would work. So let's just test that quickly. Yeah, pre-composing does it, but we'll try to quickly explore shifting the phase. So maybe we can use one centralized value to shift each oscillator phase parameter. I'm saying phase, but I'm not sure which parameter exactly it should be. So let's start by creating a value. Add it in there. And we will wire it inside of the X oscillator in the time offset, and likewise for each oscillator. And you can get creative with that, creating offsets of offsets, but we will do one uniform offset for this video. I think it's enough. So hopefully the time offset is what we wanted. Okay, so this is very yeah, nice. Nice little wormy effect. Okay, so now let's copy. So let's call our groups. You are co, you are o, and so this value is the time offset. And now let's duplicate. Once again, you will be P, and let's duplicate again, and you'll be Y. Okay. So Y, time offset. Let's use, value was 1. No, let's use 2. I feel like 2, yeah, 2 pretty much lines with 0. Probably my values are somewhat making it so I will try to break it a little more by using 123. This is too close to, this is annoying. Okay, 0.6. Now you are a Y, not an O. Oh, this doesn't look right. So what's happening with this stroke? I suppose it would be the same if it was an E. Let's quickly check that. Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay, so how do we fix that? with a color shader instead of a fill, I think. Oh no, it's not that. Annoying. What if I add one in the stroke? No. Ah, that's annoying. I feel a little bit confused and ashamed not having prepped for that. So I think this is a pretty trivial problem to solve. So let's make it a Y again. Sorry. And okay, so it's different already. No, this is for words and things like that. Okay, let's move on. So now we need to handle the P. Okay. I hope I will resist the urge to get back to this stroke thing, because it's really annoying. But I suspect that it's even more annoying to record me ranting but being annoyed, so yeah, we have the same problem for the P. So let's find the time offset that works. Time offset value is 1, so let's use 0.42 because it's the ultimate answer. So now it's too aligned with the C, so let's use 0.93. No, it's really close to 1.5. Okay. So we will do copy and learn, I think. I like that. Copying is learning, but I would say that it's the better sentence, but copying is a bit too long. It would be 7 letters. I don't like it. And learn 5. Yeah, you can make 5 work. Okay, so I think it has something to do with the submeshes. Each submesh has its own stroke and probably lives somewhere inside of this node, but where? There are so many options. Actually, if we could simply have the stroke be behind the fill, it would help too, but multi-stroke. What if I try to do a Boolean operation? What's the name? A pathfinder on the shape. Maybe this will fix it. Where are the effects? Okay, so I will quickly ask ChatGPT, I think, because okay, I'm in Cavalry right now, and for letters that have several shapes, that are constituted of several shapes, I have the stroke around each pieces of each shape, and this is not what I want, and I'm losing a lot of time because of that, so can you help? Not stroke duplicator. What did I do? What? I'm confused. Why do I have nested things in there? It's not the case with this one. Okay, so it doesn't look like it's very important. Is it the same for the Y? No. So it must have been from the manipulation I did earlier. Yes, the problem is that Cavalry Simulator has several child meshes contours, so the stroke is being applied to every internal pieces instead of the final outside silhouette. Try this order. Fast fix. Select the letter group shape that has the bad stroke. Add a deformer. Flatten shape layer. Oh, there is that. Okay. Set single path. Put the stroke after the flattening, not before it. Okay, let's try that. What did you say? A deformer. A deformer. A deformer. Deformers. Flatten. Yeah. I'm on the Y. Oh, it did the trick instantly. So yeah, okay, nice. That's exactly what I wanted. I'm sorry to have taken so much time to do that, but I think it was really annoying to have this unfinished, so I'm glad I have it fixed. So go to the shape, in the deformers, flatten everything. Yeah, sorry. One sec. Sorry. Okay. So let's duplicate this composition and move on to shot number 3. Next time I won't number it like so, because it's really annoying. Anyways, I think inside of Cavalry, you're not really supposed to use something another sorter does and not, because once you do, let's say I sort by name, I can not reorder anything, even if it's inside of folders. So let's say I want to move this here. It's not possible, which is pretty stupid, but that's the way it is. So see, now I can. So yeah, this was a bit of a complaint, so excuse me. And let's tackle shot 3. So what will we do? Do we add that? Or do we move directly onto those ones? So this one, I think I will skip it, because for once, I'm not sure I like it that much. And it might be a pretty huge time commitment, I guess, given the looks of it. So let's do the rotation, and after that, after we will do the gradient. So now we will do a end. So you will be T, you will be N, and you will be A. So will it be as simple as plug in the oscillator inside of the rotation? We'll see. I thought I asked for a D. So we need to flatten once again. Okay, flatten. And on the A, flatten too. Let's move them around. So what we could do for the colors is duplicate one letter and use it as an inverter. I don't know if it's a real word, but use it as something to invert. And we will need to add a layer for the background. It will make things easier. Okay. So let's isolate our letters first. So I like this thing there is in Cavalry, that you can lose it pretty easily and you need to redo it every time. This is a little tedious. I wish there was a way to have this be more persistent. Anyways, so the color of this will be the color of the stroke. It's not looking like it's working at all. Okay, I don't know why, but we'll find out. And the color of the stroke should be now the color of this one's fill. Okay, so we did everything for the A, inverter, fill color, stagger. Okay. So everything is back to its original state. Let's use a color array. It will be much easier. So can we easily copy a color? Copy value, yeah. Paste. Add another color. This time it will be the fill color. Copy value. Paste. Okay. We can forget about the inverter and we will simply use the color array to do the same thing. Hopefully it will work better. Stroke color. Did I grab the correct one? Yeah, no, I don't think I did. So on the N, the fill color, and it's not working either. which honestly kind of puzzles me. Oh, so maybe the inverter worked, but it was just not updating unless you scrub a little bit. Okay, anyways, it's cleaner with the color array, I think. So can we select by type text shape? Yes, we can. But it's only working if it's untoggled. Select by text shape. Yeah, okay. So we need to use our color array to paint. So we could have linked our letters, but it's not really necessary. So this will be the fill color, and color 2 will be the stroke color. Okay. Yeah, refreshing is definitely finicky. All right, and now same for the A. So this is the fill, and this is the stroke. All right. Let's grab this shape and give it this background color. Oh, I made a mistake. Shape, where are you? Okay, let's get out of this. Go grab our background, our color array, and okay, so it's a bit extreme, I think. I don't know. I don't like the contrast of it. I suppose in the ref, no, it's almost the same. Okay, so why not? So now the difference is that we have rotation. So let's try to do it the easy way by plugging the one oscillator inside of the rotation of the duplicator shape. Okay, we need to remove the Y. I think in the ref we don't have Y in this animation. Yeah, no, it's only, oh no, there's a little bit of Y. Anyways, I think we pretty much covered it except for the gradient part, which we will tackle soon. So let's just quickly add some oscillation to the other ones as well. And let's finish with that one. Take the other one, oscillator Y this time, and put that in shape rotation. It's not growing as much as in the ref, but this will do for the moment. Okay, so what do we do? Let's go back to our shot number 2. I think this is the one I like the most, and iterate on this one. So let's Control D, shot number 4. Ah, okay. So we will need another letter. Shouldn't have done that. Okay. I don't dislike that. Ah, the fact that the C sometimes gets out of the frame is bad. Whereas it's not that big of a deal if the tail of the letter gets cut. So yeah, it's much better like that. So let's use learn this time. L. We need to flatten. Okay. O. O should be a E now. We need to flatten too. Okay. Learn. So you are an A. No need to flatten because it's already done. Up one stage, we have the R. Okay. And one step over again, we have the N. I should probably invert the R and the A. Yeah, it would be more readable. So you are an R, and you are the A. I made a mistake. Really? It's starting to be a little... Yeah, okay. So what we need to do now is to once again use this really lovely index to color node. And we'll create a nice gradient. We'll take the one that goes from the deep blues to the lighter ones. Okay, this is one value. We'll do 4 values. I think that's enough. So a lighter blue. Yeah, okay. And here we go over there. Oh, what's happening? Why is this value I don't know what's the term, but it's like when a Bezier curve has its tangent broken. Anyways, we're back to normal. Really looks like a white water shader. But yeah, okay. And now we need to wire that. Where was it already? I think it was inside of each letter. What are those color shaders? Actually, I don't think I ever did that, but so in this setup, it was inside of the letter. It was on the fill color. Okay, so let's do that again. It should not be a problem. And yeah, maybe we can do a little extra. So now that's not doing it. Okay. Let's take the index to color and wire that inside of the text shape that lives over there. And we want it to be inside of the fill color. Yeah, that's nice. I think in motion brand's effect, the stroke was much more discrete, and that makes it look way better. So we will do that as well. I mean, it's not that this looks bad, but we are copying, so let's copy as much as we can. Okay, this is super messy, but let's just grab this and wire it. Oh, you're annoying. There. Okay, this is unexpected. Why is it? Oh, maybe this is just a refresh. Yes. So let's clear everything. Oh, beam. Oscillator. No, not oscillator, sorry. Index thing. Really, this is really not convenient. Okay, we have E, and now let's clear, add that, grab our duplicator here, and wire that over there. Yeah, okay. Where is the N? We lost the N. Why has the N been lost? Little N, where are you? My God, it's been erased. It's been erased from this world. Poor N is suffering so much. What tragedy. So let's just duplicate the L. No. Who's the L? The L needs to come forth. Okay. So you will be the new N. Try to be a good N, because we really did like the previous N and we will miss it dearly. But we bet you can fill his shoes. Okay. Last thing we need to do is grab all of those text layers. So to do that, we need to open everything up, click select by type, text shape, and isolate. So the stroke, now let's create a value to drive it, because if I want to change it, it will be easier to have only one. This is the beauty of proceduralism. Value. All right. Let's wire. So the value will be 1 for now. And let's wire this inside of each stroke. Yeah. Crap, I lost my value. The fact that you cannot do this is annoying. And after that, okay, I can do that, have it over there. And yeah, I lost my selection. This is what I meant earlier. I really wish it was more persistent. That's what I mean. Okay. So N is done. I can use value on stroke width. Okay. Maybe there's a better way to do all of that, but I have yet to find it. But yeah, this is honestly a little stroke width. On E. And finally on L. Yeah, this is a tiny bit better to do it like that. Stroke width, okay. Okay, we are pretty close to the ref, I guess. Maybe just 0.5 to make it even lighter. Yeah. Okay. So let's just assemble our little copy to honor our master. Oops. What just happened? Oh no. Oh no. What? I'm outraged. I think I have autosave, but I don't know if it's dependent on projects or not at the moment. Huh. Oh, oh nice. Okay, so at least I have it on record that I actually did it. Yeah, this is annoying. So I was counting on autosave, which I have activated, but apparently autosave depends on being inside of a Cavalry project, which is different from a Cavalry scene. And since I did not do that inside of my project, I did not benefit from the autosave feature. So I've been lucky that it didn't crash sooner, because otherwise, in the middle of the live, it would have been really, really a problem. Right now, it still is, but at least we saw that one through. Yeah, this is what I have. Oh, do I have an autosave? Oh yeah, I do have an autosave. Okay, so it's not that bad. So apparently I was mistaken. Autosave does not depend on having a project, or do I? Yeah, let me try to understand what just happened. So okay, I did this inside of this the project I had. I thought that I saved that inside of my other folder where I do my lives, but no. Luckily, so disregard everything I said about these autosaves and project things. I'm not sure of any of it. I think it's what I said, but I can't be certain. I'll check that out. And right now, I know that I have done that scene inside of a project. So it's a scene within a project. And maybe that's the reason why autosave worked, but to be confirmed. And yeah, so I lost a little bit of work. I don't know, maybe 5-6 minutes, but yeah, I won't do it again. We won't do the montage of, or we can do the montage pretty quickly. Actually, we will only use those three. The montage, the edit, I suppose I should have said. So let's do that in a vertical comp. And let's cut our things and okay. Or just move them over. Up and take a quick look. Sadly, we don't have the very final thing. But yeah, I guess we are pretty close to the ref. And it was pretty fun to learn that technique. And also, yeah, no, I don't know. I think we're done here. And I want to once again thanks to brand motion brands. I don't remember. I'm sorry, man. Uh, yeah, no, okay. Thank you for the inspiration. It's more than inspiration since I've really copied your stuff, but it was a nice learning opportunity, and Cavalry is definitely fun. We crashed, but such things happened. And thank you for watching and moving through this session, copycat session with me. And I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.